Now, with this pretty harsh winter that we've had already this year, and we still have till March 21st before winter officially ends, I've been updating my winter preps for my go bags, whether it's my get home bag or my formal bug out bag. And so while I was doing it, I thought I would just kind of bring you along and some items that really would be useful to keep with you, especially in a situation where you're on foot, or even if you're stuck in your vehicle. And so we're going to take a look at a lot of items that you need to kind of update with your bug out or your go bag. A lot of times we just have certain survival items in there, but looking for those items that will keep you warm, it can be critical and dry. One of the things about the rule of threes, which I base all of my kits on, is you have 3 minutes without air and 3 hours in harsh conditions. That's how long you can live before hypothermia sets in and you just get super cold, and frostbite, things like that. So we're going to take a look at a lot of the things that I want to suggest that you take a look at. I'm going to give you some different options, but mainly these are the core to be prepared for those winter months. Now, of course, your first line of defense is what you're wearing, and hopefully you're dressed for conditions of having a nice solid jacket, some good socks and shoes. Of course, insulation, having thermal underwear, definitely in a really cold situation. That is your first line of defense. Next, we're going to go into the additions. Now, guys, I live in the South, and we're really talking about moderate temperatures even when it comes to winter. I mean, we've had down to 12 degrees this past winter and for days. But if you live in colder climates, you'll have to adjust your bag to suit your needs. But the principles should be kind of close to the same. Now, I have this broken down into sections, and really the first area I want to talk about is for just your personal protection. Things that if you're on the go, if you're on foot, what do you need? Number one, definitely have a nice watch cap, something really warm, or some kind of cap that'll keep your head covered. There's a lot of heat that escapes out of the top of your head, and just a regular ball cap's not going to be really enough. You need something with some insulation, and I usually keep good watch caps, whether it's this green color or the black or different colors, but this is one thing that I like to have. Also, having a good pair of socks, especially wool socks. Now, these are merino wool socks. They're kind of expensive, but wool just wicks that moisture away from your feet, and it allows you to really keep warm even in wetter conditions. Also, a pair of gloves. Now, these are thin gloves, but they are insulated. These are to protect your hands for winter, and they do keep your hands warm. It's a really fine micro fleece, and yet I still have dexterity with my fingers. Another thing is keeping that neck warm, whether it's a balaclava or something like this with just a neck gaiter. This wraps around and it keeps my face insulated, but I can also bring it over my face if I need to. It keeps my neck warm, and so in those tight cold moments, I mean, any area that's exposed can really get cold. And one thing that I've just done a review on are the hand warmers, and these are the body and hand warmers. These are large. There's only one, but they will last up to 18 hours. So I typically keep packs of these. They have the toe warmers and they have just the regular hand warmers. But this is great to keep your body warm, whether it's your extremities, or you can actually put this next to your chest or behind your neck, and this will really keep you warm. Now, I like to keep a good pair of boots, especially those that are waterproof. Here we have some Solomon's. These are fantastic boots, and you can see I've had these for a number of years and really worn them hard. But they still are great boots. They're fairly pricey, but just good solid boots. Solomon actually makes ski boots as well, so it's a great company. But keeping those feet, and then also we have some Sperry's. These are just some waterproof shoes, but they are insulated, and this is going to be great, especially in wet conditions. They cost considerably less than the Solomon's, but they're still kind of pricey. Finding good boots or good footwear is important, especially if you're on your feet, if you're in a walking situation. One thing that I find is a lot of times I'll wear boots, but I may be out for dinner, I may be doing something and have some dress shoes on, so I definitely need to have a good pair of boots hidden away in my vehicle if I need to abandon the vehicle. Now, having the correct tools can get you out of a tough situation, especially in snow when your vehicle may be stuck, or possibly you have a tree that's down, blocking the road, limbs fall, there's all kind of things, or if you're going to build a fire. Having some good tools and having the right tools can make the difference. One big thing that I like to have is one of these military shovels. It's compact and it folds up, and many of you guys have seen them, but what I really love is the size. You can just pack this away, and yet this is a good quality tool. And I keep this in my truck at all times. But also, I like to have some kind of axe or a hatchet. One big thing about this one, now I did a review on this a couple of years ago. It's a Zippo 4-in-1 tool. It has the hatchet part, and then also it has a saw that's inside the handle, and this really helps to be able to serve multiple purposes. And then also there's a hammer right here at the end that you can use for driving stakes, things like that, especially if you're in a tent. Having a small saw. Now this would be more for personal use if you're out on the trail, but this is a great tool to have. Now, one thing that I really like is having a good solid knife, and this is from Up Armored Knives. This is called the Faunus. It is a chopper. In fact, it's called a chopper. You can see how thick it is. This is great. In fact, this could take on a lot of the tasks that an axe would, because it's just so heavy. And yet you have the knife here, and then also it does have fire starting capability right here on the sheath. But a good solid knife, again, is important. Now, having a good fire kit is important in any survival situation, because fire keep you warm, keep your morale up, it gives you light, you cook your food, you boil your water. Having fire, again, is essential. It's one of the earliest things that man developed, is the ability to start fire. And here I have a number of different options, whether it's a ferrocerium rod, a standard Bic lighter, even a standard butane, little small lighter. Here's some magnesium bar with a striker. So I like to have redundancy, and I have a knife in here as well to process small tinder. I like to keep Vaseline and cotton balls. You guys know, if you watch the channel, this is a super fast fire starter. It's cheap, it's easy to do, so I keep that on hand. But also I keep some of the Fierce Fire, and this is from Ingalls Creek Outfitters, and this stuff is excellent. I've done some work with them as well, and that is a great option. Because of that, one thing that I've added is one of the Ingalls Creek fire kits. Inside I have a striker, and this is it's a great lightweight striker system, and it also carries a lot of this little fine wood in there as well. Here you can see it's waterproof. You open it up, and the striker's in here, and here inside is the tinder. So it's all packed together. This is a super great option, and this stuff lights like nobody's business. And here we have some refills of not only the tinder torch, but also the Fierce Fire. And then inside there, if you want, here is more of the Fierce Fire that I keep. And this stuff, it just gives you more time to burn, especially in snow or wet conditions, even more than the Vaseline and cotton balls. Now, even if you're warm, staying dry is just as important. One thing that I do is keep some of these heavy meal trash bags, and this is great for ground cover. You can even use it as an improvised poncho. I mean, there's a ton of uses. But also a standard rain jacket, and rain pants would be good as well. But this is a North Face. It's really excellent, but yet it's lightweight and small and compact. But even while I'm wearing a large jacket or whatever, this can cover my packs, it can cover me, and it can really help keep things dry. You can also strap this down around your pack to keep it dry as well. Now, one thing that I try to keep, and these, because they're so compact, a tarp with Mylar inside. This has the ripstop. This has eyelets, so I can do a lot of things with this for shelter, and you can even wrap up with it if I get really cold. Having a good sleeping bag is great. To me, it's a little bit of a luxury because of the size, even though this is a smaller sleeping bag. So I like to keep some of the emergency escape bivy. Has the Mylar inside. This can wrap up, keep you warm. And then, of course, this little small tack bivy. This is very tiny, and these are easy to stow. This is going to have to go on the outside of your pack, but definitely something good to have. And one of the last things that I'm going to show are blankets, whether it's a big wool blanket like this. This to me is not something you're going to be able to carry, or it's not that portable, but it's something you can keep in your truck. You can wrap up in this, especially if you get wet. This is great. And then I have a small fleece blanket. These are very inexpensive, very lightweight, and they will really keep you warm. So while all of these items may not be suitable for what you're doing, and again, you may be in much harsher conditions, this is something to think about and to kind of put together your winterized kit. Guys, don't get caught out stranded somewhere with your summer bug out bag or your go bag. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic.